class on YouTube, and this is part 8 of Writing Fool Me Twice. You weren't supposed to hear from me yet, but I broke some rules. Sorry. Alright, so it is Sunday, December 27th here, and if you feel like you definitely heard me say, I was not touching this draft until January 1st, you're not wrong. Funny thing happened. So it took me a lot longer than I thought it would to reread Mad World. It took me 5 days, and then it took me 3 days to reread For the Broken Girl. I just finished that actually last night, and I finished it last night around 7 or 6. I don't know. I finished it kind of just last night. And then I should have just, sat there and ate my food. Literally, I had just ordered dinner. I should have just sat there and enjoyed my night and watched, my Lord of the Rings marathon. But instead, I had read 1,600 pages, and I kind of just... I don't know, I was in a rereading mood, and I thought, let me just do it. Let me just open up and get a couple of chapters out of the way. And then I did that, and I did 7 chapters last night. And it was great, in the sense that, okay, the process was great. I really enjoyed rereading it. It definitely felt like I had not seen it in a very long time, which there's a lot of that. I'm like, I forgot I did that. And then today, I was like, well, just do chapters, I'll do a couple of chapters today, no big deal. I read the next 7 chapters. So I am 15 chapters deep into this, which means I am almost halfway through my reread. And I kind of think I'm going to go downstairs, eat dinner, relax, get out of my office, and take my iPad with me to continue reading. I messaged Ange last night. I'm like, listen, I'm really sorry. But I started rereading FMT. And here is my defense. I read 1,600 pages of other stories, and I really felt like I could treat it with a fresh eye, and I was in the mood, and I felt encouraged, and I felt excited. And one of my big resolutions for 2021 is to listen to the muse. When the muse wants to do a thing, you listen, because sometimes if you don't listen to it, it goes away, and then it leaves you for 5 years, which is definitely what happened between 2008 and 2014. Do you want that? I don't want that. Nobody wants that. So, I'm gonna go with it. Having said that, I'm only halfway through the reread. Why am I checking in? Just to check in, because, I want to. How is the rereading going? I am very excited to tell you that basically what I thought was going to happen has happened. There is some work that needs to be done in the first half. I'm going to be adding a brand new chapter, as a new chapter 1, which always seems to happen to me, and I think it's just because, honestly, I start Jason already back in Port Charles. I think we need to start him in New York, and I just want to have a couple of other... there's just a couple of other things I want to set up a little bit differently. Nothing too drastic. Nothing that's going to massively change anything that comes later. It just, I want I want a slightly different starting point. I'm pretty excited that it's not messing anything up. And then I need to adjust the timeline a little bit because I have things happening all over the place on days because I hadn't really figured out which day things were going to happen with. That's not a big deal. So I made sure to circle any time I talked about how many days it had been because I'm going to add some days in there. And I think I'm adding 1 chapter kind of within those first 5 or 6 chapters. Just I need to space out some of those events a little bit. But by and large, in the first 15 chapters, that's the big changes. I need to add 1 or 2 scenes with Michael and Nell. I already kind of know what they're going to be. There's going to be 1 earlier on, and then 1 later on, and then maybe 2 early, maybe 2 or 3 later on. I need to adjust the Michael and Carly. So everything I knew that was going to happen, I feel it exactly the way it is. I also see that I actually did set myself up pretty well with how I want to do Sam's POV to the point where I don't have to do a ton of rereading. I just have rewriting. I have to add some lines here or there, and I'm pretty happy about that. The biggest revelation for me is just flashbacks, because as soon as I started reading the flashbacks, I started having ideas for all the ones I need. And I actually started having ideas for how I want to tweak the ones that exist. And basically, everything that you would hope for in the first half of the story is going well. And what is really great is I do not need to massively rewrite this. So I am not going to start the beta draft just yet. I am not starting that till January 1st. So I'm going to do the reread, and then I'm going to let it sit. So I'll probably finish it today or tomorrow, possibly Tuesday. So by Tuesday, I will have finished my reread and my initial notes. And then I am not touching it again until Friday, which I know doesn't sound like a lot of time, but it is a couple of days. And then on Friday, I will construct the beta draft. And then by January 3rd, I will have the idea of the beta draft ready to go. And then all of January, we'll write the beta draft. And then I will do the posting draft. I am really pleased that my hopes that I wouldn't need to change a lot are exactly, because the first 15 chapters were definitely the ones that were written the furthest apart. And I can tell that because, some of the characters changed a little bit. I can see where my feelings on Carly change, because I can see where I start to shift from a she's kind of getting a villain edit to a little bit more protagonist. So it's kind of interesting to see that the portion of the story that I wrote over the most amount of time, where I think I wrote it starting October 1st till about November 17th, that first 6 weeks that I wrote it, I only wrote about 15 chapters. I have now reread all of that, and it's not as messy as I was worried it would be. It does need work, but it doesn't need massive reconstruction, and that's such a great thing to hear. I am so excited for the editing process on this. It shows, and it really reaffirms that my decision not to start that first draft until it was ready, until every single scene was fixed, until every single song was soundtracked, it was the right decision. And it was also the right decision to take days off when I wanted it to. Everything I did with Fool Me Twice is the way I should approach everything, and it makes me even more excited to go into Discovery on Broken Girl and Mad World kind of at the same time, because while I'm juggling both discoveries, there are different parts in their discovery, and I know so much more about what I'm doing with this whole process. And I'm really excited, because if it doesn't take as long as I hoped to edit, Fool Me Twice, it gives me more space to, again, write Mad World in the background, and that's always what I wanted to do. So, this is me checking in to let you know that, yes, I broke my own rule, I broke my own promise, I started rereading, but it's actually a good thing, because at the end of the day, a promise to your muse is only as good as the muse wants it to be, and if the muse wants to break the muse changes its mind, right? I need it to take, a bunch of days to just read and relax and not write. I needed it. I desperately needed it. It's been over a week. It's been beautiful. But now I kind of miss it. So, I'm glad I'm getting back into things. Fool Me Twice is going great. I can't wait for you guys to read it in February. I can't wait to kind of check in with you guys next week to see how it's going. I am just having a really, really good time with this book. I'm so excited to write the new flashbacks. I'm so excited to make any changes, add these new scenes, these new nuances. And when you guys read it, I really, really hope you'll see I think it's honestly one of the best things I've ever written. I say that every time I write something, but in this case, for what this story is and what I wanted it to do and how ambitious I'm being with it, I'm pretty excited, but that so far it seems to be working. All right. The next time I check in with you, I will check. It will be after I've finished rereading. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. I'll see you in the next one.